All right, so for those of you who are coming in for the first time, this show is called Multifamily Investor Nation, Monday Meetup. And today's topic is going to be about finding multifamily deals. And so the way I like to start the show is, as everyone is coming in, just tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you currently have going on in the multifamily space. So we'll start with whoever's unmuted and would like to go first. If you don't want to go first, then mute yourself. And then also I want to say, because I know there's some newbies here as well, or there should be some newbies coming in. I don't want to exclude anyone. So if you don't have any previous real estate experience, that's fine too. Just let us know what city and state you're coming in from, and you know what your current profession is, if you will. Thank you for that. And also, guys, if you go down to the bottom of your screen, the chat box, if you would, there is a sign-in sheet here, if you will. So if you would, just give us your first, last name, and maybe an email or some contact information, a phone number if you'd like to share it. You can put that in the chat box. And what I'll do is I'll try to save the chat box and send it out to everyone. Welcome, Thomas. How are you doing today, sir?
Hey, doing good, doing good.
Awesome, awesome. Great, Mike. Sounds great over there. All right, so who wants to go first and kind of introduce themselves a little bit and tell us a little bit more about what you're currently doing in the multifamily space?
I'll go first. Thomas Copley. I'm here in Loganville, Georgia, just east of Atlanta.
Cool.
Have not invested in multifamily properties now, but just from talking to folks that want to get into becoming a real estate investor, and this is where I want to start and grow from there versus individual, single family home. So
right on.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That's a good story, sir. I like it. I like it. And it's really great, Thomas, that you're here nearby. I'm over in Atlanta, but we're pretty close to each other. So definitely enter your contact info in the chat box, and I'll definitely be reaching out to you shortly. Okay, who wants to go next?
I'll go ahead and go next, Carlos. So,
go ahead, Roderick.
Hey everyone, I'm Roderick. My full-time job is a cybersecurity consultant. I'm also based just out of Atlanta. I'm in Kennesaw, a little bit northwest of it. And I have a duplex that I recently got back in April. That's my start, and I'm looking to find more deals, looking specifically for about a 5 to 10 unit. So Carlos, I'm looking forward to this meetup here. I think you'll cover some good stuff.
Sounds great. Thank you for joining us. And Roderick has said that he wants to help out in the meetup and kind of just in the back end, if you will. So I'm very grateful that you volunteered that. So thank you for that. And definitely look forward to working with you in the near future. Who wants to go next?
My name is Nick. I'm at Covington, Georgia, about 45 minutes southeast of Atlanta Airport. I've been investing just almost 2 years, just shy of 2 years. As far as multifamily, I'm under contract for my first one. But I do have four, thank you. I do have 4 single family homes that are being rented out and one that's in the process of being rehabbed to flip. So
awesome. Welcome. And thank you for sharing.
Excited for this.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for joining us today. Who wants to go next?
All right,
Kevin?
So I'm actually totally in a different location. I'm in Trinidad and Tobago, actually. I'm investing in the Georgia market. I have a couple of duplexes in Athens, Georgia. Moving into the commercial multifamily space and looking for my first commercial multifamily deal. My profession is an accountant, so I can help with some of your underwriting and different types of analysis if you all need.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's always need for a good accountant or someone good with numbers. So that's great. Thank you so much for joining us, Kevin.
I'll go
Brock?
and go.
There you go.
My name is Brock Hyder, and I've been in multifamily for 2 years now. I'm just a passive investor right now, looking to kind of expand my horizons. I got 3 deals that I'm invested in, and I'm looking for a 4th here right now between multifamily, self-storage, just kind of trying to figure it all out. I am a software analyst by trade.
Awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, the last client I was just working with single family homes. He was telling me he's a software engineer, and then he's doing pretty good in this industry right now. So that's awesome. Thanks for joining us. And by the way, Brock has invested with Dan Hanford already. Dan Hanford is the leader, if you will, of this group, Multifamily Investor Nation. He's invested passively with Dan, I believe, on those. I think the 2 deals, if I'm not mistaken.
3. I got 3.
The
One
3
just
with him?
closed. Yep. One just
Perfect.
closed. Yep.
Congrats on that one. So I know that's the most recent one. And we always try to keep in contact. I know Brock and I keep in contact at least once a week. And that's what's great about being local. And even Kevin, he's in Trinidad, which is awesome. By the way, that I'm glad we have international people here today. But it's just awesome because he's still investing in Georgia. So we could definitely have a tight-knit group here and gradually start growing the group. And like I said in the previous social media post, we're here to network, meet up, network, learn, and possibly even partner up on deals. So deals have been created on this meetup, in person and virtually. So that's definitely a possibility with this group. So thank you everyone for joining us. Jonathan, you're the last one, just came in. If you would just tell us what you're doing, your name and what you're currently doing in this multifamily space. And if you're not in the multifamily space, just let us know your profession.
Okay, my name is Jonathan Bell. I'm new into real estate investing and all that. I really want to start off with multifamily, start off strong, go strong. Still a college student. I'm a computer science major. I want to get into the tech field and all that, but I still want to have multiple properties on the side because I'm doing what I love with tech. So
That's
I
awesome.
want to combine the two in a way. And I'm just here to learn as much as I can, partner with everybody, network, all that.
That sounds great. And you're definitely in the right place because let me tell you, like I tell my son too, you could do 2 things at once, right? So you could definitely be in the tech world and then you could also be investing with the money that you're producing from there. So
I agree.
Right on. And I love that you're young and you're getting in early. So kudos to you, sir. Anyone else has not gone yet and would like to introduce himself? Okay. Carlos Griswold, maybe you might want to introduce yourself.
Hey, yeah. Hey, everyone.
Awesome.
I'm a dentist in Atlanta, in Midtown.
Nice.
And right now, I don't have any projects. Maybe about 5 to 10 years ago, I used to have single family homes. I think I had 5 to 6 at one point, and I sold them about 4 years ago. And I'm trying to get back in the game.
Sounds great.
With a multifamily this time, though.
Yeah, that sounds great. So you're doing what I did back in the days. It's like you sold everything that you had so you could get into multifamily as well.
Exactly. Yep.
That's awesome. Good job. Good job. Thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. Guys, so everyone has gotten ahead and introduced themselves. So what I want to do is jump into the content. I would ask that you bear with me because I know that every time I go into the presentation, it does take a second to click into the share screen here. But if you would, while we're doing that, everyone, please make sure that you give us your first and last name and some contact info, maybe an email, maybe a phone number. And if there's any posts like Carlos is a dentist that you want to promote your business or a website or anything that you'd like to promote, by all means, go ahead and do so here. Just find your chat box and you can put the information there. All right, we're just about to get started here. Bear with me, this is a little slower than I wanted it. All right, so today we're going to be talking about finding multifamily deals. All right, okay. Finding multifamily deals. And just to tell you a little bit about myself, my name is Carlos D. Reinoso. I'm a co-organizer for this group. This group is called Multifamily Investor Nation. If you're not familiar, the main managing partner is Dan Hanford, and Dan Hanford is also the managing partner for PassiveInvesting.com. So I'm a co-organizer for this group here in Atlanta. There's 54 groups nationwide. Every state has one. I happen to be the one who runs the Atlanta chapter. So I'm also the founder and CEO of Canis Major Investment Capital LLC. That's my investment firm. And I forgot to put on here, and I always forget to mention, but I'm also a licensed realtor here in Georgia. Also a managing partner, a general partner, and I'm also a capital raiser ready to go. So if anybody needs my services, I'm offering them here. I'm more than capable of helping you guys in any transactions. I have over 20 years experience in real estate. I started originally in Miami, Florida. I've done joint ventures of 5 and 6 units. I've done a whole bunch of flips. After the flips, I pretty much, I had some single family homes, and like Carlos was saying, I also did that, where I sold all my single family homes, and I just stayed with my 5 and 6 units. And I, pretty much was looking to, back then, to continue growing. And it was pretty much around the time when the market was slowing down a bit in 2005. I went ahead and did a full disposition and got rid of my multifamily as well. I'm also the author of the book, Selling Secrets You Can't Afford to Miss. It is not a book for sale. I really only have, I think, a total of 10 copies. Brock has a copy. He was nice enough to purchase one for me and gave me a great review. So thank you again, Brock. I'm eternally grateful for that. So that's enough about me. If you guys have any questions, just you could raise your hand or put it in the chat box, and I'll definitely try to get to it. Quick announcements before we get 100% started here. Excuse me while I get a sip of tea over here. As you're coming in, again, just let us know what city and state you're coming in from. And Kevin's perspective, you're coming in from another state, another country, actually. Let us know what country, city and country you're coming in from. You can put that in the chat box. And again, please sign in with your first and last name, email address, and phone number. A bonus, anyone and everyone who gives us their email address will get the how to get started in multifamily webinar video, and that's free. That comes to you from Dan Hanford himself. It's basically him presenting on how to get started in multifamily. So for anyone who's brand new, this would be a good way to go. So make sure you provide your email address. Places you can reach out to me, and I would love to connect with you, is on YouTube. And before I get started with the whole presentation, I forgot to put this in. If you go to YouTube and you look at my past videos on multifamily, what you could see there is another way to find multifamily deals. Let me explain. If you go to my YouTube channel and you watch the videos, I got somebody else coming in. While you're watching the videos, you'll see the name of the people who are showing up to these meetups. Now, why that's going to help you find deals is because you could always reach out to these people either on LinkedIn or any other social media and let these people know, hey, look, this is what I'm doing. I'm investing, I'm an investor, I want to, I'm an LP, I'm a GP, whatever the case might be, and reach out to these people because these people are doing deals. Most of the people you'll see on the videos are experienced investors who are doing deals, have done deals, and are very willing to help and kind of share the information with you. You could also reach out to me in Facebook at Canis Major Investment Capital LLC, on LinkedIn as Carlos D. Reinoso, Instagram, De Jesus Carlos 33. Some people pronounce it De Jesus Carlos 33. Either way works for me. And on Twitter at Carlos De Jesus 33. All right, now let's dive into the content, and I'll be brief, but I do want to make sure that I specifically talk on the most important points here. And so we're going to start off with the first thing you want to do when you're finding deals is decide on the size that you're looking to get started with. The reason I say that is because sometimes people say, well, yeah, I want to start with 50 units, let's say. And maybe you have a whole team of people already ready to go with you. And really, why start small when you could jump right into 100 units, right into 150 units? So that's why it's very important to first and foremost know where you want to get started. in the size of the assets. Excuse me. Also, another reason why that would help is because when you're getting started, you want to know who to go to for deals. So there's certain places that you could go for both less than 100 deals and more than 100 deals. But getting started, knowing where you want to start from is going to be super helpful to know where you want to go next. So you want to send mailers. Now, when sending mailers, you want to hire a skip tracer, or I like to call them web scrapers. Actually, I like to call them skip tracers. Dan likes to call them web scrapers. And a skip tracer is just basically someone who's going to research the information for you and bring it all into one place, possibly one email, one Excel spreadsheet, so that you could go ahead and kind of cipher through that and reach out directly to the sellers. You want to also have them search apartments.com and cross-reference your local county tax database. And, so you could go to, like in our case here, Gwinnett County taxassessor.com, Decatur, not Decatur, but DCAB taxassessor.com, and so on. And you want to have him cross-reference the properties that he pulls up from apartments.com with the tax database, and maybe look for out-of-state owners. You also want them looking for assets that are in foreclosure or about to get in foreclosure. And also assets, this is one that bonus that I'm adding, is assets that have been owned for 5 years or more. And the reason you want them to have owned it for at least 5 years or more, because those of us who've done some syndications, or better said, have invested in multifamily before, you know that for the most part in syndication and JV and stuff, the property, we're going to be holding it, it's going to be about approximately 3 to 5 year hold. So by the 5th year, a lot of times the investors or the owners are getting ready to exit the deal. There's many ways to exit, but they're definitely going to have to use, by the 5th year, that's usually the time when they're going, what am I going to do with the property? Should I sell? Should I refinance? And so this would be a great time to reach out to them. Excuse me for a second. Okay, you also want to use CoStar. And I know what most people think. Okay, yeah, CoStar, that's great, but it's really expensive, especially when you agreed. CoStar is an expensive site to get started with, but there's different ways that you could actually get in with CoStar, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. One of the ways is LoopNet, and LoopNet is owned by CoStar, but it's a free website. And if you go there, you could go ahead and find, market properties. Sometimes you'll get properties that are, just hitting the market. Sometimes you'll see properties there, like some people say, LoopNet is where properties go to die, right? So sometimes that could be the case where the deal's been there for a long time, but that's not a detriment at all, because actually you can use that to your benefit. How? You can use that to your benefit by contacting the broker directly and talk to the broker and say, listen, I'm interested in this kind of property. It's actually a little bit more than what I was looking to purchase it at, but I want you to know that I'm interested in this property, and I'm also interested in whatever else you might have that fit this parameters. And these are, my criteria, my deal criteria. And, at the same time, you're starting the relationship with the broker, with the multifamily broker. Another website, which is great, but you really want to, when you use this site, you also want to call in, and there's a little form you want to fill out. You definitely got to fill out that form, and someone from Land Vision will get back with you. That's Land Vision. It's a great site. It gives you a lot of the property data, a lot of the mapping data as well. And it's fairly new to the market. It hasn't been around that long. I would definitely recommend that one. Obviously, apartments.com. Zillow. Now people say, yeah, the Zillow is hard to find multifamily on Zillow. Agreed again. But you could find, small, like Roderick said, duplexes. You could find triplexes. You could find, 5 and 6 units. small units, mostly on Zillow. Sometimes if you get lucky, you can find 50 units or more. It's rare to find on Zillow. And the MLS, the multiple listing service. And you could also go there and look up expired listings. And again, reach out to the brokers and let them know what you're looking for. Now, one of my favorites is the property management companies. And this one is a twofold approach, and I'll tell you why in just a second. Excuse me. With the property management companies, if you can't afford the CoStar, that's quite all right, because what you could do is reach out to the property management companies and let them know, listen, this is, again, what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to purchase multifamily units, whatever, 50, 100. In this case, we're talking about less than 100, and let them know, by any chance, would you be willing to share, maybe some of your CoStar properties with me? And for the most part, if they know that you're looking to work with them in the future, they're going to be more than willing to work with you and possibly share their CoStar reports with you as well. Another great place is code violations. And code violations, again, you want to go to your county coding or zoning department and reach out to them and say, is there any way I could get a list from you of people who are applying or people who have code violations or people that are applying for permits if you're in the zoning, and ask them if they could provide that for you. And sometimes they'll be more than willing to share that information with you. And sometimes they could direct you as to where you can go to get more, contacts for the code violations. And they'll give you a nice, pretty list. It's usually set up really nice and organized. So I definitely highly recommend that one. And you definitely want to have a multi-step approach to follow up with everyone that I mentioned. Hit them up on social media. I like to reach out to people on LinkedIn. I find that most of the professionals that I've met and have reached out to recently have come from there. A lot of key principals are coming from there. A lot of grantors or loan guarantors, and also co-sponsors, if you will, from LinkedIn. So, hit them up there. Possibly if you have a newsletter, share that with them. If there's a local meetup, and this is another good point with this meetup, is this is a perfect place to connect with others. And after I finish the content, we're going to go ahead and network some more. So you'll be able to kind of like reach out to each other and share your information and what you're looking for. And that way is a good way to also that multiple approach to reach out to brokers, lenders, and everybody in the industry, if you will. So broker relationships are key. You want to identify the multifamily brokers by going to, again, LoopNet, apartments, no, well, not LoopNet. Yeah, LoopNet, not apartments.com, and CoStar. And even, like you could go to companies like Marcus and Millichap or any companies local. I highly recommend Bull Realty. I know the owner there. He's a great person. I've interviewed with him, and he's a really great guy, very willing to give you the information. Michael Bull, he's willing to share the information with you. So that's one that I would highly recommend. And, there's a lot of brokerages here in Georgia. So I would reach out to them and see who's doing multifamily. And you don't necessarily want someone who's just doing single family and came across a multifamily deal. You really want to focus more on the multifamily brokers and reach out to them, let them know what you're looking to do, get on their mailing list, right? If you see that they're listing a property, send them an email. On LoopNet, when you find their property, it says reach out to the broker, and you could kind of just give them your email address, a quick message letting them know that you're reaching out to them, the reason why. And that way you get to know them a little bit better and you get in front of them, right? You want to call them up, you want to take them out to lunch, and let me tell you, inviting someone to lunch in this industry is one of the best investments you can make, because it'll pay you tenfold, right? Because one, the person's getting to know you better. You'll see if you have chemistry. So you'll know if you could work with this person well. Two, you get kind of pry information from them, see what's going on in the industry and the market. Awesome, we got more people coming in. So thank you guys for joining us today. And, you know, it's a great place to, it's a great way to get to know these people better and, you know, bring them some coffee, build rapport somehow, get to know them, talk to them. And please mute yourself as you're coming in, Don. Thank you so much for joining us. And it's a great way to reach out to the brokers. You want to be present. And what I mean by that, being present is you want to go, if they have a listing, make an appointment, show up on the listing, go see them, go see the property, send them feedback. A lot of people don't do that. Like even if they do square an appointment, they just go by and I didn't like that property. I think I'm just going to keep looking. Right. But did you let the broker know that you didn't like it? No. So the broker, you know, assumes, oh, well, he came and no opinion, or this guy's not really interested. He didn't really respond or didn't give me any feedback. I don't know if he's really interested or not. You might be a tire kicker. But if you reach out and you go, hey, listen, I saw the property and everything looked good, you know, but instead of 50, I might be looking for 100. So if you have 100 units, maybe in Kennesaw in this case, or maybe in Covington, or maybe in Atlanta, or in Loganville, then hit me up because I'm definitely interested in these markets. So that's something that I would highly recommend. Excuse me for a second while I drink just a little bit of tea. It kind of coats my throat a little bit. There's a little bit of honey in it. It's funny, somebody asked me one day, what do you have in the tea? Like they thought I had like some kind of liquor or something. I don't drink, guys. So this is just tea and good yogi tea inside there with some honey in it. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, again, even if you're not interested, let them know, hey, look, this is not what I'm looking for, but this is, you know, maybe more units and everything else. And that way they'll be able to send you a good deal when they come across it. You want to submit LOIs. I know a lot of you who are on this call have already submitted LOIs. I highly recommend that as well, because one, you'll get in the habit of it. You know, if you really want to score a deal, you're going to have to submit LOIs, right? And LOIs are the letter of intent for those who might not know the lingo yet. That's something else. In order to find deals, you definitely want to learn the lingo, the vocabulary that you're working with here in real estate. That way, if somebody says something to you, it doesn't throw you off. When you're talking to brokers, they're going to ask you certain questions to kind of feel you out and know your experience. They're going to try to feel out your experience, and they're going to throw certain terms at you and to see how you react. So if you know these terms, then you could, you know, come across as a professional, and they'll be more willing to work with you. So definitely be submitting letters of intent. Hopefully, if you go even further, you could submit your PSAs, which are the purchase and sale agreements as well. So again, even if you don't think you're going to be awarded the deal, definitely go ahead and let them know by submitting your LOI, and it'll give you more practice as well. And what I find is that the more LOIs you submit, the closer you're getting to taking down your first syndication. And it doesn't have to be a syndication, guys. If you want to do joint ventures, you could do that as well. And for those who don't know, joint ventures or, you know, JVs are less expensive, and it's less legwork, if you will, less people involved. And you could do it with maybe just 2 investors. So joint ventures is definitely a less expensive way to go as well. Again, CoStar can help you find assets, but you'll need the broker relationships. Ask your lender, your broker for CoStar reports again. And if you don't have an account, you could get one right now, or you could ask them for it. You know, I tried to find out with CoStar because I was very interested in joining, purchasing CoStar. And I'll tell you, the price varies. Exactly why that is, I don't really know, but I've heard different pricing. And I've heard anything with CoStar from $2,000 a month to, I believe, what was the last time I heard about? I think it was about $6,000 a month or more. So I think it was like $48,000 a year. So that's like $4,000 per month or something like that. So the prices do vary, but it's what everybody's using. If you look at the lenders, we've interviewed on this show, Old Capital Lending, Clay Allen from Old Capital Lending, and other lenders. So a lot of times that's, most of the time that's what they're using. Everybody in the industry is using CoStar. So at some point you will have to use CoStar. So you could either have somebody who's already has it and bring them on your team and, kind of work it out that way. Or you could also, if you have the money, by all means, it's definitely worth the investment. The reports you get from there are hands down top of the line reports. And you can do searches for, again, owners of 5-10 years. So I highly recommend CoStar, and reach out to the brokers, reach out to the lenders. Lastly, another bonus of ways that you could find multifamily deals. What I've done recently is I went to Upwork and I hired a skip tracer. This is exactly what I'm doing right now to find multifamily deals, guys. Hired a skip tracer, very inexpensive. The cheapest thing I've ever found, to be honest. I don't want to say just how cheap because I don't want to lose them. But I had them cross-reference foreclosures, people who have owned the property for 5 or more years, people whose property is paid in full. That's awesome. If they're paid in full, they're going to be very willing, because by then they probably have had the property for a long time, and they're ready to release the property or sell the property for the right purchase price, if you will. And then also on social media, make some posts. Go on LinkedIn, make a little post and let people know, hey, look, I'm new to the industry, or look, I have some experience and I'm looking to branch out, or like myself, hey, I'm looking to partner up on a deal. I have my years of experience. I've been doing real estate, like I said before, since 1999, originally started in Florida. I'm still a single family agent. I still do multifamily deals as an investor. I still work the market. I'm very well versed. I've been doing this for many years. And what I don't know, I have books to learn on. Another one that I didn't post here, and it's the last one, I'll finish with this one, is multifamily summits. So every time you hear that there's a summit somewhere, sign up for it. It's gonna, sometimes they charge you a minimal fee, $97, $100, whatever. Definitely worth the money. There hasn't been one that I've gone to that I'm like, oh man, what a waste of time. Every single one, I've learned a new nugget. I've met new people. And in fact, that's where I've met some of my key principles as well. And a key principle is basically someone who's willing to put their financials on the line to help you out on a deal. Sometimes they're willing to also invest a large portion into your deal, and they definitely have experience. So I highly recommend that you go to a summit. This group, Multifamily Investor Nation, has 2 summits per year, one in January and one in July, I believe in June actually. And in June, so you definitely want to go to multifamilyinvestornation.com and go to /summit and sign up. You can sign up way ahead of time. If you use my promo code Carlos100, you'll be able to save $100 off the price of admission. Just use promo code Carlos100, CARLOS 100, and you'll save $100 off the price of admission. And let Dan know and anyone there know, that you found out about the summit through me, and you're going to definitely save $100 off the price. And it's definitely going to be a great place to find deals. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. Next month's topic, we're going to be talking about raising capital for your multifamily deals. And I'm going to go ahead and stop share here. And I just want to ask, does anyone have any questions? By all means, feel free to ask. And while I was presenting, there was some new guests that joined us. So I'm going to go ahead and give them a chance to introduce themselves as well. Give me just a second. So for anyone who's just joining us in the past 5 or 20 minutes, please let us know in the chat box your full name, email, and phone number. And everyone who gives us their email address, will receive a copy of the video, how to get started in multifamily. You will receive that video within a week's time. And also, if you have any links you'd like to share, please go ahead and do so. And lastly, if you want to, in this moment after the content, let us know what city and state you're coming in from, and maybe what you're doing in the multifamily space. Now, if you're not an investor or just getting started, you might want to let us know your profession or what you're studying and everything else like that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and stop the share. And yeah, so does anyone have any questions here at all? Feel free to unmute and raise your hand, or just let us know if you have any questions. All right, no questions. So that means I did a great job presenting. So thank you guys. I appreciate that. You guys have been great guests so far. Thank you for hanging in there with me. Now, I know I spieled out a lot of information. So if anybody has any questions, you could also see this recording on my YouTube channel. I'll be putting it up soon. And Thomas, you have a question, so please go ahead.
I have a question. Yeah, I didn't say what I did for. I'm an insurance agent. I do, Medicare Advantage, final expense, that kind of thing.
Cool.
So, over the years, I've, read a lot of books, you read a lot of YouTube videos, those kind of things, but it's really, it's kind of hard to piece out like sort of an action plan, do this first, do that. If you don't have the money, but you make phone calls and you find somebody who may be willing to sell, then what, who do you call? What do you do? How do you make that happen? Do you get qualified for the bank with the bank first? Those kind of things. Is there anything where you guys have any insight on, step one, step two, step three for, somebody who's never purchased a property before?
That's a great question. I really like that question. And yes, there's many answers to it. So I'll give you the first answer that comes to mind. Not to plug myself, but if you go to my YouTube channel, you will see previous videos, and they're kind of aligned in a certain way to go from just getting started to all the way to raising capital and purchasing your first multifamily property. So that's a good resource there. Also, I would go to multifamilyinvestornation.com. And again, this meetup is part of that group. So there's 54 groups nationwide for Multifamily Investor Nation. They always put new content on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and there's usually at least 2 different topics. You'll have the managing partners, either Danny Randazzo, Brandon Abbott, or Dan Hanford presenting, or anybody else. Maybe like if you're into storage, they also have one for storage units as well, so that you could reach out to that. So the storage one, I believe it's called, and Brock, you might know, but I believe it's called multifamilystorage.com or something to the effect. But basically go to Multifamily Investor Nation, and then the rest, you could find it there as well. And then something else I would do is reach out to experienced people. You can find them on LinkedIn or any social media site, and join groups. There's a lot of good groups out there that are willing to give you some information. Kind of just give you the big picture, if you will, of how to get started. And so, but I think first and foremost, Thomas, you want to read books, you want to join podcasts, you want to join meetups, summits, get dive in head first into it, learn as much as you can, get as much information as you can from everybody. And one of the things that I love from this industry is that everyone is willing to share. It's not like, in single family, a lot of times your buyers are, sometimes they're inexperienced, they're first time buyers and whatnot. In multifamily, you get people that are experienced and are willing to share their experience. Some of them, they have their own courses that, that they could sell. Earlier today, I was at the Academy Presents with Angel Williams and her husband, Jason Williams. And that's a great resource as well. Thank you, Brock, for putting that on there. StorageInvestorNation.com is the link. So I appreciate that, Brock. And basically, hit these people up, let them know what you're doing, but let them know, listen, I'm just getting started, but this is what I'm looking to do. And could you guide me? What's next? What should I do? I have some capital I want to deploy. And if you have capital, let me tell you, you're 3 steps ahead for most people, because you could easily find a good investor and deploy, obviously you want to get to know them, but you could deploy money into their deals. And by doing so, you'll get the PPM. It's called a private placement memorandum. And that's going to give you a lot of information, and it's going to go into further detail and let you know, how the investment works, how much you're getting as far as a piece of the pie of the deal, how much money you're investing, how much can you expect on a monthly basis as your dispositions. And so that's a great way to go as well. And then myself and Brock could attest to this. I've been in the industry so long that I've met a lot of investors. So you could come at me and say, Carlos, I'm looking to get into a deal. Who should I invest? This is what I'm looking for. We'll have a Zoom meeting, and I'll gladly introduce you directly to the people that I know. So you definitely want to let people know. Let me know. We could sit down, have a Zoom meeting, and I'll gladly introduce you to a lot of people that I know, key principals, loan guarantors, lenders, other brokers in the industry, you name it. So definitely, I'm a good resource as well, and I'm here to help, guys. So great question, Thomas. I appreciate the question. Nick, you have a question?
Yeah, so I belong to the Bigger Pockets, forum, if you will. And I do a lot of analysis there. But when it comes to bigger properties, 50 plus units, how does the analysis differ from doing like a regular, 5-10 unit?
Great question. Yeah, so a lot of times the smaller, like I know I used to use the Bigger Pockets calculator as well, and it was a good starting point. But once you do get into the bigger deals, you're definitely going to need a better calculator. And so we have spreadsheets that we use. I have one that I could share as well. It's just a matter of finding it, because I have the clean one that still doesn't have anything in there, and I have one that has like 100 deals that have been analyzed or more. So I could definitely share that as well. I would look for a good deal analyzer out there. Definitely feel free to invest money into it as well. Getting started, there are some free ones on Instagram. I just found this guy yesterday, and he's willing to give you a free one if you just watch his 15-minute course. That's definitely something to look into, because he was talking about how his is perfect to just throw in the numbers, and it kind of spits out the numbers for you. So you don't have to worry about, how much is it for paint on a unit, how much is the flooring. So it kind of gives you all that information already. So that's another great resource. And yeah, definitely, Nick, reach out to me, because I could definitely send you a great one. It's the one basically that Dan Hanford uses, and the passive investing team as well. Awesome question.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, Nick, sorry.
Go ahead, Carlos.
Hey, Nick, I have a really good one, a really good spreadsheet. If you can write your email, I'll send it to you. I'll share that with you.
That's
It's
awesome.
pretty detailed, but I mean, it takes me a few hours to analyze it. But I mean, you're confident whether it's a really good one. I paid for it, but I'll share it with you.
Awesome. I'm curious, Carlos, where'd you get it from?
It's in there.
Man, I can't remember it. It's some guy from Texas.
Texas. Not Joe Fairless.
No.
Okay.
I got it over a year ago. He has his book and everything,
I probably know him. That's why I'm asking. But yeah,
oh man.
if it occurs to you,
What?
Brad Sumrock.
Brad Sumrock, maybe?
Brad Sumrock.
Nah.
No. But that's fine. Don't worry about it. When you do remember, let me know.
Yeah.
And also, guys, and thank you, Carlos. That's really cool. And you guys, like I was saying, people who are in this industry are more than willing to share the information with you. So this is what you get. They're like, and sometimes they'll reach out and say, hey, could I help you? They want to help you. And a good example that I give, I was at a summit and I met Angel Williams of the Academy Presents. And, I just mentioned, this guy was talking about, he had an investment group that is to help people who had like problems with alcohol and everything else. And he said he wanted to start, like multifamily, but focused on people with problems with alcohol. And I just happened to find somebody else in that meetup. Angel went, She went on the search to see who that other guy was, connected them together, and now those two are doing deals together, helping out the cause, right? And that's what it's all about, guys, helping each other out. I'm doing this, you know, with all my years of experience, I'm still learning. And as much as I'm learning, I'm giving back. That's what I'm all about. I try to give from what I'm picking up. And, you know, I want others to come up with me. I don't look at things as a competition. I look at it like we're all here together, and I go a little deeper. I don't want to go too deep, but you know, for me, we're all brothers and sisters here, ladies and gentlemen. That's the way I look at things in life. So if you agree with me, great. If you don't, more power to you. I agree with everybody. I disagree with no one. So keep it going. Misty, I would love to hear from you. I'm so grateful that you joined us today. If you could just kind of let us know who you are and what you're currently doing in the multifamily space. And if you're not investing or anything else, just feel free to unmute yourself. If you would, Misty, just let us know what you are doing currently professionally. Thank you.
So hello, I'm actually new to Georgia. I've been here for about a year. I'm coming from California.
Nice.
And I'm just looking into it. I'm not an investor or anything like that. I'm just kind of curious, basically. That's it.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate you sharing. I love your photo too. That's pretty funny.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's cool. I like it. I like it. All right. Someone else just joined us. Pretty much we're introducing ourselves, just saying a little bit about what we're doing in the multifamily space. Don, well, actually, Daniel, go ahead. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Daniel Bino Channon, and I live in the wonderful island of Puerto Rico.
Nice.
And former commercial banker and syndicator. So thank you for being a part of this call.
Thank you so much for joining us. That's right on. That's really cool. So today we got people from Trinidad. Kevin, remind me if I'm saying that wrong. From Trinidad and Puerto Rico. So thank you guys so much for joining us. That really means a lot to me. You know, it means a lot to me to have people here. But on top of that, you know, you're coming here and sharing with us as well. Don, if you would tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Sure. So I'm in Idaho Falls, Idaho, Eastern Idaho, those who don't know, kind of the opposite side of Boise. I've been involved in real estate for essentially about 4 years or so that we've been investing. Involved, I guess, for 10 years. My wife's an agent as well for 10 years. We have some small multifamilies, fourplexes here in Idaho and in Arkansas. You know, I'm trying to scale up from that into more multifamily. We've actually got some development deals we're working on. I'm actually with a partner doing a small like 5-unit strip center commercial development in Arkansas, and then working with the team here locally in Idaho Falls to develop a large condo townhome community with about 700 plus units. But yeah.
And where are you coming? You're coming in from Idaho, you said, right?
Yep, Idaho Falls.
Awesome. Look at that. That's awesome. We got people from everywhere here today. So thank you guys. Now, is anybody looking for, you know, a partnership, maybe a course or a guru or anyone that possibly I could introduce you to? Let me know as well. You can let me know in the chat box. You can raise your hand. You could talk. Pretty much open forum now. So just let me know if you have something that you need, and I'll gladly see what I can do to help you out with that. Okay, everybody's got everybody they need.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm not sure if I know what I need. You know,
exactly.
You're talking about different terms and things like that. I'm familiar with because I've read the books and I've bought some online training courses before.
Right.
You know, the thing that I need help with and the thing that frustrates the heck out of me is, you know, like they say, you need to know what the cap rate of a building is or the cap rate of a market, which is, you know, cash flow minus the expenses. But how do you know what the expenses of a building is or how much cash flow is coming in there to even calculate, you know, all that kind of all the stuff like so to take sort of coursework and put it into practice has kind of been, you know, is my issue. It's kind of frustrating to me.
Gotcha. Yeah,
and to piggyback off Thomas really quick, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
like, I understand the formula of the cap rate. I don't understand how to read it. Like I can get the answer, I can do the formula, I can do the math. or what's a good cap rate, what's a bad cap rate, what does it actually mean, and how can I intellectually present that to the people I'm investing with?
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a great question. And that's, you know, in a way, that's where the deal analyzer comes in. Because one of the things that does spits out is the cap rate. And then you definitely want to reach out to the brokers there. So the brokers could tell you what the current cap rate is in the market that you're looking at. So like, let's say myself, I'm looking in Atlanta. I'm going to go on LoopNet. I'm going to hit up a broker who's got property in Atlanta. And I'm going to say, listen, I see that you got property in Atlanta. And I was curious, what is the going cap rate right now in Atlanta? You know, because there's even in submarkets, there's going to be a different cap rate. So it's basically, it depends on what the market is trading at, right? That's what the cap rate is basically saying, is what the market is trading at. And you want to make sure that you talk to the broker and ask them, you know, in this particular market, what is the going cap rate? And right now, in general, pretty much across the board for like, let's say, Class B properties, we're seeing from like 5 or 4% cap rate. And anybody could correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, I know this for a fact. 5 or 4 cap rates going on right now. And then, you know, Class A, well, Class A, you got 5 or 4%. And then, you know, Class B, it varies anything from like maybe 5% to, you know, if you're lucky, you can get a 10%. Rare, that's mostly, you're going to find those mostly on C-class properties. But yeah, there's other places you could go as well. Like just go online and say, you know, what's the cap rate in this town? What's the cap rate in this city? And you could also go to like Marcus and Millichap, whatever, Bull Realty, any like major brokerage, and reach out to someone there and ask them straight up, what is the current cap rate? Because I'm analyzing some deals and I want to make sure I'm doing this right. Can you tell me? And they'll gladly tell you. So that's another way. Hope that helps. Carlos, go ahead.
Question, now that we're talking cap rates, and has anybody actually found anything above like 6% cap rate lately for Class C or
Class
B?
C. Class C, I have.
Like within, I would say within like the city of Atlanta, not Metro. Yeah.
Yeah, Metro is on fire right now. No,
yeah.
It's burning. It's so hot. It's burning right now.
It's like too hot. Yeah. It's like everything is like 5 or below.
Or less. Yeah. I've seen even 4s right now. So a good thing, Carlos, I would say is to look in the outskirts, right, of Atlanta. Not the metros, but kind of like the secondary markets or tertiary markets, and branch out there. Because I think there you're gonna find, I still see, you know, some 10% cap rates and stuff like that, but they're few and far between these days. And keep in mind, the higher the cap rate, the riskier the deal too. Right. So if it's a 10, you know, you got to be willing to make a lot of repairs. You know, bring in some tenants. You might be losing some tenants there, and it might not qualify for agency debt. And for those that don't know, agency debt is basically your Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, and those are government entities that they pretty much finance these multifamily deals. But a lot of them are going to want at least a 90% occupancy for the last 90 days. So if you don't have that, let's say it's a Class C, then you might not be able to qualify for agency, and you might have to get bridge loan or some other type of deal. And in the future, then you could refinance into agency debt. Awesome questions. So I think everyone has gone ahead and spoken. So something else, we do meet, this meetup is the first Monday of each month. I hope that you guys will continue joining us. I try to put it out everywhere I can. But you know, sometimes in social media like Facebook, I'll post it and it'll only go to like 5 people. So what I do is I post it on the groups, and I suggest you guys do the same, like go into these multifamily groups and let them know, look, I'm looking for deals in the Atlanta market, or better yet, if you're not in Atlanta, you know, go somewhere else. because the market is so saturated right now over here. But yeah, there's a lot of great places that you could invest. I know a lot of people are investing in Tennessee, in Alabama. I got some good investors over there. I actually got some investors working and looking in Louisiana. And there's some hot markets, all across the state. Texas, obviously, but Texas is another Georgia in the sense that it's on fire too. It's super hot. Everyone's in there. There's a lot of gurus. There's a lot of courses. Florida has always been a hot market. If you could get through the hurricanes and everything else, I highly recommend Florida for investing because it's a good cycle. You could kind of set your clock by it, that every new cycle, approximately 8 to 10 or 12 years max, the prices are going to go sky high, and you're going to be able to find a great great sales. But when the market is low, you'll be able to buy at great pricing as well. So these are, basically, I would look for landlord-friendly states, and most of the time you're going to find them in the Southeast, and sometimes you will find it, elsewhere. But I can tell you, I got a lot of investors looking from New York and Chicago and Texas, and especially California, and all the places in between in the southeastern states. So I've been investing in the Southeast all my life. That's all I've ever invested, and I highly recommend it. So if you definitely want to find good deals and have a good return when you go to sell, I would highly recommend the Southeast.
Another thing, just to throw it out there for everybody, I don't know where everybody's officially at, but if you are a passive investor, just want to get started, it's very important to get contacts. Carlos brought me a deal this week, but I didn't have the prior relationship with the contact, so I couldn't invest with the person. So it's just get your name out, introduce, even if you're not doing it, just get your name out there to get in contact with them, so that when there is a deal that comes through, you are available and you're qualified. Because most of us, I'm not a accredited investor, so I have to have that prior relationship. That's just something important to be aware of.
Yeah, that's a great point. And so, so you guys, let's say you came to me and said, Carlos, look, I'm ready to go. I want to invest passively in a deal. You have anybody you could recommend? Yeah, I definitely do. And the first person that comes to mind is Dan Hanford. Okay, hands down, my favorite investor. As far as like his deals, the way they're structured, and I'm not just saying this, I really mean this. They're the best deals I see out there. Like the way he structures the deal, he's really looking out for the investor's best interest. He's got a structure A and a structure B. And if you guys don't know, that's a conversation for another meetup, if you will. But there's definitely options for, for the most part, you have to be accredited for his deals. But he's definitely looking out for the best interest of his investors, because this is a long-term relationship that you want to build with these people. So it's not like you're gonna, invest passively in one deal, you're never gonna hear from them again. Brock is good friends with Dan. You're gonna continue having a relationship with these people. They're gonna continue sending you deals. I could send you deals if you want deals, not necessarily that I'm in, but deals that are coming across my desk. And I want to clarify that, because sometimes I've told people and they're expecting me to be part of, the co-sponsor on the deal. But I could definitely recommend the deals that come across my desk and just forward them to you. And, if you're interested, let me know. But what you could do there too is you see the people who are bringing me deals, reach out to these people and say, listen, I want to go ahead and I want to invest with you. Maybe we could set up a Zoom call, get to know each other better, because you definitely have to establish a relationship, right? So that's a good way to establish that relationship with them and make sure that if they do have another deal coming up shortly, you could jump on that one. And with Dan specifically, I know Dan, could send me a deal today, and like a week later, they'll have another deal in the pipeline. So I could definitely send you whatever comes, and it's not just from investors. I get it from brokers, I get it from lenders, I get it from JV partners that I've worked with in the past. So I could definitely share this with you guys, and it'd be my pleasure to do so. These days I'm a little busier than I used to be, but I could definitely share any information that I have. I am an open book. I love to share, so use me as a resource as well. I hope you guys find me on like I said before, on LinkedIn. You can find me as Carlos D. Reinoso on LinkedIn, De Jesus. I think it's Carlos D on LinkedIn. And I hope you guys will also like and subscribe my YouTube channel. And there you're gonna go ahead and see, you know, from start to finish. Plus, I forgot to mention, I have another meetup, and that other meetup is called Multifamily Meetup Mondays. And we use that one more than anything to interview guests. And I try to bring you guys some value that way by bringing in guests that are experienced. Like I said, the very first guest was Clay Allen of Old Capital Lending. If you're familiar with Old Capital, Peoples, Michael Becker, and everyone on that team, James Eng and everyone on that team. Clay Allen is here in Georgia locally. Clay is really great. He's got his own in-person meetup as well. I believe it's called AIM, A-I-M, and I don't remember what it stands for, something investor or something. But he's also one who's willing to share somewhat of a co-star report. So you can reach out to him and say, hey, Carlos of this meetup, Multifamily Investor Nation, was telling me that you have, you know, like a co-star report that you share, and also let him know that you want to join his in-person meetup. We basically meet when they do meet. It's usually in Atlanta somewhere, so it's, you know, very centralized location. We've met in Taco Mac. I forgot the other place Brock could say where they met last time, but basically most of the time it's going to be a restaurant, so that's a good venue. And he could give you some more information. And, you know, I could possibly let you know about other meetups that I'm familiar with and I could recommend. So definitely let me know if there's anything else I can do to help out there. All right, guys, any other questions before we sign off here?
No questions. Thank you very much. Very, very, very useful. And,
Thank you. I'll be reaching out to you, Carlos.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Hey, Carlos,
Thank
what part of Miami are you from?
Miami Lakes.
I'm like, I grew up in Coconut Grove, man.
What? Awesome.
Yeah.
I used to live there for a while. Back in the clubbing days, I moved over there for a little bit. That's great, Thomas. Yeah, listen, guys, everyone here, I seriously, truly want to get to know everyone here better. Some of you are return guests, and I appreciate that. I thank you so very much for your support. Whatever you guys are doing, let me know. I'd love to support you as well. I support other meetup groups as well, like I was mentioning, the Academy Presents, and just any other groups. Definitely let me know, and I'll give you my support as well. So thank you guys so much for coming. It really deeply means a lot to me, and I do want to get to know you guys better. So I hope everyone did leave us your name, email, and phone number if possible, and any links you want to share with the rest of the group. By all means, I'll definitely try my best to share it with everyone. If there's nothing else, then this is Carlos D. Reinoso with Multifamily Investor Nation Monday Meetup, signing off. See you guys next time. Take care, y'all.
Thanks, Carlos.
Thank you guys. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Carlos.
Thanks.
Oh, you guys are awesome. Thank you, Missy, for joining us.
Hey, Carlos, can someone connect with you in Atlanta?
Yeah, like I have my email here. I'm also going to leave my phone number. Yeah, I'm local, man. So definitely hit me up and let's connect.
I'm in Atlanta every week.
That's awesome. Well, so you're traveling from Puerto Rico over here weekly.
Weekly.
Awesome. Let me tell you, Daniel, I went to Puerto Rico. One of the most beautiful islands I've ever seen. I had a great time. I stayed over at San Juan Hotel and Casino.
Awesome.
5-star hotel. Loved it. One of my favorites of all time. And I've been to a few places out of the country. Love Puerto Rico. I'm planning on going back and maybe catch up with some surfing once I get back there. So thank you guys so much for joining us.
Have a good one.
Thank you guys. You guys take care now.
Yep. Thanks, Carlos.
Thank you, Brock. We'll keep in touch.
Yep. Bye.
See you guys.